Hello everyone, welcome back to Luke's Movie Talk, where I go over some of the most recent movies I've been watching. For this video I'll be looking at The Conjuring 2, the third movie in the Conjuring universe, but the second Conjuring movie. And just before I get into that, I uploaded a review for the first Conjuring movie, so if you're interested, go give that a watch. And also make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future uploads. Okay, so let's get into the plot of The Conjuring 2. Ed and Lorraine Warren are investigating the Amityville murders, and while in a vision, Lorraine witnesses the real culprit. Ronald DeFeo Jr. killed his family, but he was seemingly made to by an entity in a nun attire. During the vision, Lorraine sees Ed being killed, and that spooks her out of the vision. In Enfield, England, the Hodgson family start to experience paranormal events. One of the children, Jeanette, seems to sleepwalk and talk with an unseen entity. This was a really creepy moment where she shares a room with her sister, and you hear her talking with someone. She's sitting upright, and then she just shouts. And the sister is just gobsmacked because the girl is just looking at her with closed eyes. It's really freaky. And she also wakes up downstairs during the night and has no idea how she got there. And it's very disorientating because I can imagine just waking up somewhere completely unknown and you're like, what's going on? The entity is an old man, a former resident of the house. Events escalate and all the family members experience different paranormal events, from moving furniture and ghostly apparitions. The media ends up getting involved. And during an interview, Jeanette is possessed by the old man, Bill Wilkins. It's really cool because she gets a deeper voice and it does not sound like her at all. She's got really craggly, deep voice and it sounds nothing like her. And it's really freaky. The lights flicker and everything, so you feel spooked. With all the attention, Ed and Lorraine are asked to look into the case by the church. Lorraine is apprehensive about getting involved, and then has another vision of the nun that attacks her in Ed's office. So we get this really creepy moment where she sees, or the daughter sees the nun down the hall, and Lorraine goes to follow it. And Ed actually painted a picture of the nun after dreaming about it. And the shadow goes around the room, picks up the painting and rushes towards Lorraine. And she is just completely spooked by all this. And then she unknowingly writes its name in her Bible. While visiting the family, Ed and Lorraine witness multiple instances of possible paranormal activity, including possession, teleporting, and inhuman feats. So we get to see moments where Jeanette gets possessed and seems to talk in the old man's voice. She somehow gets into really awkward small spaces for no reason, and also gets inhuman strength as well, like flipping whole kitchen tables, and she's like a 10-year-old girl, so it's not possible. Unfortunately, another investigator gets video proof of Jeanette faking destroying the kitchen, so Ed and Lorraine have no choice but to leave. So the video actually shows Jeanette throwing stuff, and they kind of think, oh, she's just making it all up for the fame. On their way back, Ed and Lorraine realise this was all the plan of the nun entity to control the old man Bill's spirit and discredit Jeanette. Basically, we find out as they're finding this out that Jeanette was told by the entity that if she didn't get them all to leave, and Lorraine, the entity would kill her family, so she was forced to act this way. Ed and Lorraine return to the house with a possessed Jeanette trapped inside, so Ed goes in alone to save her. After being partially blinded by a steam pipe and attacked by the Crooked Man entity, Ed stops Jeanette from jumping from a window. So this really crazy moment where Jeanette's standing in front of the window and it explodes and glass goes everywhere, and she goes to jump out of the window and Ed catches her and grabs onto a curtain. The tree out front has become a spike that Lorraine saw impale Ed in her vision, so Lorraine knows that she's got to act quickly now because otherwise Ed could end up dying. Lorraine grabs her Bible and enters the room and says the demon's name, Valak, sending it back to hell. She then saves Ed and Jeanette. Ed and Lorraine return home, and Ed adds the Crooked Man toy to his paranormal collection. So I had an awesome time with this film. The paranormal scares and the tension they build up with the different entities is great. You get to feel like you're part of this family, and it's an awesome time. It's full of scares throughout, and there's definitely some jump scares. I don't think it relies as much on them, but they definitely have some, and they're very effective with when they do use them. I love the multiple different entities we have instead of just the one. We have Bill the old man ghost. He's very creepy because obviously an old man that's scaring this young girl is very sinister. We've got Valak the nun because we have no idea what this nun is because it's very human but not very human at the same time. and the Crooked Man, which is like a puppet entity that is being used by Valak as well. You have multiple people witnessing the events, so like in a lot of paranormal stuff, you don't tend to have a lot of people witness these events, but multiple people, police, neighbours, the family, all see these things being thrown around the room, being destroyed and stuff, so it's very eerie because a lot of people have evidence of it. We understand Lorraine's fear, but also understand Ed's righteous heart. So Lorraine obviously is looking out for Ed and doesn't want him to get hurt. But at the end of the day, Ed knows he has to try and help this little girl and has to, even if it's to his own detriment. Feel for the family and Bill. So the family's just put in this bad situation and Jeanette is targeted. And then the ghost Bill, even though he's being controlled, it's not his fault. This demon Valak is using him and making him do these horrible things. Ed and Lorraine are still a great duo, so I love them both. They're a great husband and wife duo. We've got Lorraine with her clairvoyance and Ed with his physical, down-to-earth tactics of trying to find out solutions, and it's great to see them try all the different things they can. The tension building was great. Like, I love the bits where one of the young boys in the family, he's playing with a fire truck toy, and the tension where he keeps throwing it back, and then he hears the sound again, and he looks back out, and it comes rolling towards him. And then he goes to investigate, and a loud, like, screaming comes out of nowhere. It's great tension building, because you don't know what's going to happen. As I said, they used jump scares, but they didn't rely on them as much as in the first one, I don't feel. I feel like they mixed it up a bit. They used jump scares, but an effective amount where not to overuse it too much. And then we get a cool peek at the Amityville case at the start of the film. So everyone knows the Amityville case has been films about it, and it was cool to get a little glimpse and little connections to this and the Warrens' other cases. So I had a great time with this film. If you love horror, if you love the other Conjuring or maybe the Annabelle films, you'll love this film. It's just as fun and scary and tension exhilarating as you would expect, and all those kind of genre horror types. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this film. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Up to date with all future uploads. And until next time, I will see you all later.